Welcome back, friends. Thank you for joining in on another video. Today I'm going to take you through my leg day warm-up and cool-down routine, rock and merge of course, but let's get into it. So to warm up, typically I do a treadmill walk, no incline, at a speed 2.5 to about 3, anywhere in that range. Lately I haven't been doing it too often because I am bulking and I'm having trouble gaining weight, so I haven't been doing a lot of steps, but still some days a week I do it, especially if it's colder outside, so that way I can warm up when I get into the gym. Now is when we get into my dynamic stretching and mobility. So I always start off with these toe touches, trying to go lower every time. So when I first start, it's like fingertips. And then as I go into it, I can put my whole palm on the floor. I am pretty flexible. I danced for a while, so it's okay if you can't do all of these stretches to the range of motion that I can. Just do what works best for you. Then I go into some quad pulls, just walking. I pick a little space and go up one way, and then I go back the other way. And while I do that, you can also see me just kind of like rolling out my ankles just to stretch those out as well. And here's me going back the other way. Hold me from the sleeve of my shirt and bring me. Then in that same little movement pattern up and back, I do another type of kind of toe touch, but I do one leg at a time, flexing the foot in front of me so I'm on my heel, and then just scoop down, keeping my upper half of my body just super loose. Then I like to do Kang squats, which are basically like a good morning and squat combination. Do a few of those. For all of these, I don't really count reps. I more so do it till I feel loose enough, so you kind of have to be very in tune with your body. You tell me, empty, and your dreams are. After that, I'll go into some normal good mornings to keep warming up my glutes and hamstrings. Your world in the palm of your hand. Turn your mountains into waterfalls. Your arcs in a sin. Now I like to make sure my hips are nice and loose, so I do some lunge variations. So this movement, if you hold it, is called the world's greatest stretch, but I do it, of course, moving, keeping it dynamic, so I just keep opening up my arm to loosen up my upper body while loosening up my hips. And then I do this lateral lunge back and forth a few times. It's totally okay if you can't do this. It takes a lot of mobility and a lot of flexibility. You can also do it with your hands on the ground assisting you, but I keep my hands up, and there's me showing you how to do it with your hands on the floor. Once I go back and forth a few times, I repeat the world's greatest stretch to the other side. And then here's me doing another fun movement that really just wakes up your hamstrings and gets them nice and loose. Now we got some hip circles, holding on to something. I go one way and then the other way, so you can see me changing direction there. Just a few reps on each leg. I do both directions on one leg before moving to the other leg. Sometimes I'll also add in like leg swings, but this is pretty much my go-to. Even on lower body, I like to make sure my upper body is nice and loose, because sometimes going in for squats or something where you're grabbing a barbell, it can take some shoulder and wrist mobility. So I like to make sure that that's all nice and warm. So I just do some arm circles, stretch out my wrist a little bit. Here I'm just placing them on the floor in front of me, both ways, so with my palms down and with my palms up, and then rocking back and forth to feel the stretch. I also find, for me personally, I hold a lot of tension in my neck when I work out, so I like to really loosen up my neck. And something important to note when you're doing a warm-up, what works for me may not be exactly what works for you, because we all have our weaker points, our tighter points, our less mobile points, so you may need to put more emphasis on something than I do. Lastly, we're gonna do this squat hold. You can use a dumbbell or a plate. The heavier the weight, the greater the stretch, so you just kind of hold that deep and go back and forth with shifting your weight from one leg to the other, really feeling that stretch in your ankle. Ankle mobility is really important for squat depth, so I really like adding this into my routine. Thanks, Sam, for showing me this. I typically use a 25-pound plate, but this was all that was near me at the moment. And then I just get in a few reps of some squats, lunges, whatever feels good to my body, and then do some warm-up sets with a light weight, and you're ready to lift. Now let's get into some cool down stretches. I'm gonna be honest, do I do these every workout? Absolutely not, but if I do remember to stretch, this is what I do. Reminder, I come from a dance background, so these are the kind of stretches that feel good to me. Again, feel it out for your own body. I like to do this stretch, I believe it's called like a pigeon pose. I do it on both legs, sitting up and then leaning into it. It really stretches out your glute so well. It's okay if you can't sit all the way down into it. You can always be a little more upright on your hip than I am here. Next is a hamstring stretch, the area I was just pointing right there. This hurts so good. So you're gonna go into a lunge, drop your back knee, and then sit back, creating like a 90-degree angle on that leg, and then try to put your nose to your knee of your front leg. It's totally okay if you can't do that yet. You can be a little more upright, like I am right there on your fingertips, but your goal is to be able to really collapse forward. And then as you do that and shift your butt back a little bit, you're really gonna feel that stretch in your hamstring. So I make sure to do that on both legs.
Tell me you've been a lion's den empty, and that your dreams aren't healthy. You don't ever smile anymore. No.
I like to do another squat hold and then stand up and just touch my toes and grab my ankles to stretch out my hips and my hamstrings. To make this stretch a little bit more intense, you're gonna shift your hip so the weight is on one leg. Oh my God, the hamstring stretch in each leg is insane. This stretch is also amazing for the glutes, so you're gonna hold onto a wall, kind of create the number 4 with your 2 legs by crossing one over the other, and then sit back into it and just feel your glutes stretching, baby. It's such a good one. Next, we got a way to stretch your calves. You're gonna put one foot near the wall and your hands against the wall and really push to feel the stretch in the back foot. This is another one of my favorite stretches. You're gonna sit with one leg out and the other one bent inwards and just reach toward your toe. As you do this, you wanna make sure both butt cheeks are flat on the ground. You don't want the side lifting up. So I just hold that for a little bit and then reach forward, and it really feels great on your inner thigh.
You can take it and run, so you can jump over stars, so you float and soak up all the warmth, though you're glowing. You don't have to know where you.
And again, just like the warm-up, we got to give our upper body some love. It was probably just, gripping onto that barbell for squats or front squats and all of that. So I'm just gonna hold a nice stretch on both of my arms, really stretching out my shoulders.
So take me.
A little more wrist action, and you can follow this up with another slow walk to cool down, and you're good to go. Hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one.